What's up? It's Thursday.
Fire with Dad, baby. Cha-ching.
Fire with Dad. Be back in a second to talk about my legal issues with the Popo. So, Dad, I avoided the clink today.
I heard that.
Okay. I didn't avoid the clink. That was a speeding ticket. But I did get out of it.
Which was pretty usual. You got out of quite a few of them in your time.
I have gotten out of quite a few tickets in my time. But let's not talk about the ones I've gotten out of or why. We're kind of talking about. Let's talk about some of Matt Plapp's moments in driving. So ironically, this ticket, I won't go depth in this one because it's too fresh and maybe they're watching and they might pull it back.
They just said, hey,
so
you come back in, boy.
We're not going to talk about that, which by the way, we're trying to figure out if anybody out there, David Schlatter, if you're watching, why do I look so much taller than Dad? Is it, oh, you know what? I bet it's because I'm standing closer to the camera.
Yeah.
Look at that. Okay. We were trying to figure out beforehand why I look 6'4".
I'm actually taller than he is.
No, you're not taller than
Oh,
me.
okay.
Why I look 6'4" and you look like 5'1". So I guess I need to make the mic and come back a little farther. And now, oh, that's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Science.
You actually were last week, I guess you were trying to be taller than me, so you moved right next to the mic and pushed me back.
It's a badass. Okay, so Fire with Dale. Let's talk about the growing up with Matt Plapp in the car.
Oh my God.
I've had some pretty cool things.
Yeah, I probably one of the thing I remember the most, two things. One was the Carmen Gia where you all of a sudden call me about 11 o'clock and say, hey, the car won't run anymore. I said, well, when's the last time you changed the oil?
When was the last time you checked the oil? Because they had an oil leak.
He's, oh, are you supposed to do that? I said, yeah. So I had to go pick the car up, take it over to a Volkswagen place, have a new engine put in it.
It happened twice, right?
Yep.
I locked the engine up twice. I wasn't a very good kid. The funniest. So speaking of legal, so I remember when I was 17 or 18, I'm at Perry Park. Bryce and Brennan Calvert are following me. And why they decided to follow me, I don't know in this case, because I'm driving, I see a cop come by, and I know I'm going to get pulled over. So I think I'm going to lose him on a back road. I had no clue the back road led into Worthville, which was a little tiny podunk town near Carrollton. And I'm back to being taller than you again, sorry. And the cop follows us. Well, Bryce follows me as well. And the cop pulls me over, and Bryce and Brennan pull over. So the cop is like, I'm assuming these morons are with you. So he walks back, and he's like, you guys with him? Yeah. Well, I'm going to guess you're doing the same speed. So he gave them a ticket too. And Mary Lou went and talked to me for like 6 months.
I know. She disowned you.
But on that ticket, you made a couple calls and said, hey, I can get you out of this ticket. I will do it if you beat me in golf. And up to that point, I had never beaten you.
Never come close.
I had never beaten him in golf. But what happened?
I got beat by one stroke on the last hole. You got stupid and trash talked me, and I fell apart.
I unhooked his bag. I unhooked your bag a few times, and it would fall off, and he would get all MFing and mad because his clubs were going to be damaged, and this is bullshit. We're playing golf. And then you get up on the last green, and all you've got to do is get up and down. And I think in 3, if I remember correctly.
Yep, I blew it.
And you bladed this chip over the green.
As my golf clubs are falling off my golf cart. Little, hello.
So I won that one. But I think probably my fondest memory of cars is when I got the Jeep stuck in that field. I went 4-wheeling.
It's raining out. It's been 4-wheeling. The only thing is you're supposed to put the 4 wheels in. He drives into this place that's almost buries his.
It's a swamp, basically.
Swamp, and then it gets stuck, and he decides to put it in 4-wheel drive. Then, and guess what? It ain't going. So I had to call a tow truck. I had to get 1,000 feet of cable, which I had almost 800 of my own of mine at our
Why did
campsite.
you have 800 feet of cable?
I don't know. I just happened to have it.
Are you like in the dominatrix or some weird shit?
No, I had all kinds of cable.
Okay.
So anyway, the tow truck. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. This guy's pulling the Jeep out of about almost dead in the woods. All unbelievable.
I remember that.
And my only comment was, Matthew, were you in 4-wheel drive? Well, I was getting there. I'm going, why would you go into a swamp and not already have the 4-wheel? You had never gotten stuck.
I was a stupid kid. I probably would have still got stuck because that was some
pretty deep.
That was some soupy stuff. I remember that one.
You were with your buddy.
And was it Kevin Souter, I think?
No, it might have been.
Tim Feger?
Tim Feger, yeah.
Tim, yeah. I got in a lot of trouble when I hung out with him. And I remember also, like, the next month of driving my car, I would pull up somewhere and hit the brakes and stop, and piles of mud would fall out from weird places. I could never clean the thing right. That was the worst part about. You thought it was badass to have a Jeep and go four-wheeling. That was the worst
But
part.
you got to have the four-wheeler.
Well, but I'm saying, like, the worst part was afterwards, the amount of cleaning you had to do. It was comical. I remember I got pulled over one time in Erlanger at the McDonald's, and I went through the drive-through backwards. And I thought I knew everything. So the cop comes up on the property, and he's like, he pulls me over, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on private property. You can't pull me over. And he's like, do whatever the hell I want to do. He's like, what is your dumbass doing going through the drive-through backwards? McDonald's called and complained. And I'm like, oh, is that illegal? And he's like, probably. Like, I never had it happen, so I don't know. And so
only Matt would do that.
And then about a week, and I got pulled over. Like, my first year I had my license, I got pulled over like 10 times. And I think I got like 3 or 4 tickets. I don't know how you got me.
I got them off. I happen to have some good friends,
some connections. So you spoiled me.
Probably one of the best of all time getting them off when we were riding your cycle in front of Cousin and Cat.
We'll get to that. So we'll get to that one next. But I remember I got pulled over actually in front of where CrossFit the Tracks is now, in that parking lot, the old Van Loon and Sports of all sorts. This cop pulls me over, and I'm in my Jeep, and I think I'm cool as shit because you probably made me cool as shit because you kept getting me out of tickets, and you were enabling me being a dumbass.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You were enabling yourself.
No, you enabled me, because if you wouldn't have got me out of tickets, I wouldn't have a license.
You've been in jail. Okay. 45,000 tickets later, you'd be in jail.
So the cop pulls
away the key.
I'd probably never tell you this one. The cop pulls me over, and I don't know what I was doing. I think I ran a red light or something, or turned right, or did something, turned right on a red, I think. And he said, he comes, gets my license, goes back, and he knows me by name. And he goes, and he comes back, he goes, I know who your dad is, and I've personally given you a few tickets. And I look at your record, and there's nothing on here. So I'm not even going to waste the time. Just quit being a dumbass. I remember leaving. But the one you're talking about was, I'm leaving Cub Cath. It was a track meet. I ran for Lloyd. I'm leaving Cub Cath. I got a crotch rocket motorcycle. I think I'm cool as shit because I only got a hit a motorcycle, and there's girls there. So I'm showing off. I leave Cub Cath. I turn right to go up that hill. And by the time I get to there's like Town and Country, a little restaurant there. By the time I get there, I'm doing about, I think it was 89. I was getting ready to shift into third gear. I was kicking it.
And there's the cop.
And a cop coming this way, and I see it, and I'm like, oh shit. So I hammer it down and pull over, and I wait for him because it took him a while. And he comes up and he's like, why the hell did you stop? And I'm like, well, I'm pretty stupid. I'm just not to that level of stupid. And he looks at my license and goes, you Dwayne's kid? I go, yeah. And he goes, that's about all that's keeping you out of cuffs, because I hit you doing 89 miles an hour in a 35 in front of a school at 3:00.
Hello.
And I'm like, it's probably accurate.
Pretty accurate. Exactly.
And he comes back and gives me a ticket. And then I remember showing up to court because I had to go to a court hearing on it. It's the only time I've ever been to a court hearing for a ticket besides today. I was thinking about that today. And I got a funny story from today, 2 funny stories. And so I get there, and you had worked out something, I think with Gary Edmondson. And I get there, and my ticket goes from being like, whatever, 89 minus 35. What the hell is that? 40, is that 53 miles an hour over? Holy shit. I'm an idiot.
About $800 fine.
54 miles an hour. It goes from that to being 25 miles an hour over in a construction zone, which there was no construction. And I had to go to driving school, which I had already been like 3 times, I think. So that's a whole nother story. So today at the court, so I get there, and a friend of mine had told me to go because she's like, hey, there's some inaccuracies on your ticket in the verbiage at the bottom that there's a chance it could get kicked with that because there's some wrong. And I was okay. So I go, and the judge agreed, and they kicked the ticket. One for the man.
Ching, baby.
Got it. So I'm there.
Now he got himself out of one.
So I'm there, and I'm watching. You can't have your phones on. Phones are turned off, and I'm watching. I feel like I was like on an episode of like Judge Judy or something, but I'm watching, and there's probably 40 or 50 people. And I was the last like 10% to go, I think, because of P being way down the alphabet. So the first one was funny is this lady walks up, and she's got this, how do I say this politely? She has this outfit on because she wants to look like she's a rock star, and she's not. And she walks up, and she's got this, I mean, it's colorful. It makes me look like I'm dull. And she walks up, and she has a drunken disorderly. So the judge is like, drunk
home run derby.
Drunken disorderly. It's a $25 fine. Are you guilty or not guilty? And she's like, not guilty. He's like, well, let me remind you, All you have to pay is a $25 fine. Well, here's the problem. I wasn't drunk. Well, you're the one that got a ticket for drunken disorderly conduct. You probably were drunk. She's like, well, they didn't take a breathalyzer. Okay, and that's illegal. No, they can assume you're drunk based on their observations. Well, that's not right. He goes, let me ask you a question. You ever seen somebody that's drunk? Yeah. Did you need them to have a breathalyzer to realize they were drunk? Well, no. There you go.
Hello, anybody home?
So then she's like, well, I showed up at jail with $175 in my wallet or something like that. And when I left, I only had like 59. So there's this much missing. He goes, yeah, that's what it costs to stay in my inn. When you go to jail, there's a fee for you being in the jail. That was your room and board, honey. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm still not guilty. I want to fight this in court. And he's like, and she's like, who will be the judge? He goes, me. He's like, so you want to do another court appearance in lieu of paying the $25 fine? $25.
You know, what's the cost of her to sit there?
And she's like, yes. And she says, I'm indigent, which I guess is poor.
Yep.
I'm indigent and something else. He's like, okay, not guilty. Here's your court date. And he gives her like, May 5th. And she's like, I can't do May 5th. And the people in the court were like, oh, because it just kept dragging on. And we're all waiting to just get up here and get the hell out because 90% of the people there were stupid shit. It was like proof of insurance, that kind of stuff. And so we get up. So he's like, okay. She's like, I'm actually gone most of the month of May. And he's like, well, I can't help when you're gone. And she's like, and also I need a public defender because I'm indigent. And he goes, you drive an Infiniti. You're not getting a public defender. And it's a $25 fine. The government's not going to give you a court-appointed attorney. If you want an attorney, go find one. And so then he's like, well, what are my other options dates-wise? And he gives her like 5 dates, like May 5th, 6th, 7th, and like May 25th, 26th, something like that. She goes, yeah, those won't work. He's like, I'm not asking.
At this time, we're not asking no more.
Pick one of the dates. So then she thinks, and she's like, I'll do the May 9th. May 9th wasn't listed. Okay, can you repeat them again? He repeats them again. Can you do May 29th? That wasn't on there either. So she eventually settles with the original date that he gives her. So that was pretty comical. Well, we got a comment. Let's see what somebody's saying here. We got any fans. Drew says that better be an Ernie Banks jersey. What is that? What jersey is that? What's
Ernie Banks, baby.
Let's say in the back. We can't see it. Yeah, back up. Back that ass up. Beep, beep. There it is. Ernie Banks.
That's my hero, baby.
It's your hero. Cool. So that's that story. So then the next one, and this is not trying to get political, but this is what it is. There were 2 Mexican guys in the entire time, and neither one of them spoke English, so they had the interpreter. I think the one did because he just, I don't know, I kind of heard him behind me. And so they both get up there, and they have an interpreter, which ironically is a white dude, which I thought was kind of funny because I was wondering who he was. Like, who's this guy standing here? He's not a cop, but he was the interpreter. So they go up there, both guys. Neither one of them have a driver's license. They both have their exact tickets, different times. No driver's license, no insurance, no vehicle registration. And so they go up there. First guy, to the interpreter. Do you have a driver's license? No. Okay, we didn't have it in the system. Do you have insurance for your car? Yeah. No. The next guy said yes. Okay. Your car's not registered with the state. No. You can't legally do it. You have every box checked, right? He's like, okay, well, so you plead guilty all these. Yeah. $100 fine, get out. Like there's no, like, how do you not have a driver's license? I mean, he hits somebody, he kills them.
Yep.
There's deep shit.
Yep.
I'm not saying anything, but I can't fathom the guy's legal. Then the other guy comes up, same thing, no driver's license. And when you walk up there, you have to say your name and your birthday. So I walked up and said, Matthew Plapp, my birthday. And he goes through the process. So this guy walks up, says his name to the interpreter, says his name, then gives his birthday to the interpreter. Lady on the other side, I think she was the public defender, or no, prosecutor. She's on the computer, judge up here, and she's like, that's not the birthday we have this. So the guy says, the translator says to him, he gives him a different birthday. Not even the one that she gave back to him, which I'm like, if you're going to lie, why don't you lie the right one that she just told you? So then they're like confused, like, well, which one is it? And the guy's like, oh, says something to his guy. He gives him a new birthday, the same day and month as the second one, but 3 years difference on the year. And everybody in the court's just sitting there going, like, really? Like, we're all getting shit on for this, and this guy isn't even here legally, doesn't even know his birthday, doesn't have insurance, doesn't have a driver's license. So they both got $100 fine. That was it. That was it.
You gotta be kidding me.
No. Oh, but what was crazy was hearing them up there. They would be up there, and they would call the names off. And I bet half the names they called weren't there. And so they would say, name, not here. He'd look and go, oh, paid online, waived. We're good. Boom. Name, not here. Oh, okay. Suspended license, warrant. So warrant out for the rest. Name, oh, suspended license, warrants, 5 days in jail. And people in the court would be like, ooh. So it was wild to hear that because I had never been in that situation. I'm like hearing these people that didn't show up.
Matt Plapp, 44 days in jail.
And then they've given him the jail time. But it was funny. Then there was actually an Indian guy, and I don't know what he's Native American, so I don't know what he was. He had an interpreter, his own, and I don't know what that. You couldn't really tell what he was speaking. I don't know if it was some type of Native American or if it was something else. But he had a DUI, and he pled guilty and said, "Yeah, everything was correct. There was an interpreter." And then the judge gave him, your license is gone. You have no more license. You can go through a training. And when you complete that training, if you do it within 4 months, you can get your license back. Otherwise, you have a 6-month suspended license and you still have to go through the training. But if you get it done before 4 months, you get it back.
That's super.
And so his interpreter, he asked to interpret. He's like, well, I need to drive to work. And he's like, well, tell him he shouldn't have drank and drive. Tough job. There's no options here. But it was
find someone drive you to work.
Yeah, but it was interesting. I thought it was pretty funny to be there and get to observe it all. But
episodes of the Matt Plapp Driving School.
There we go, baby. So that's all we got today, Dad.
Cha-ching.
You got anything?
No, I was fantastic. Cha-ching.
Okay, we got to let me get this banner gone, and we got to hit the little Fire with Dad animation. We got to get a Fire with Dad animation done.
Oh yeah,
David Schlatter, if you are watching, we need to get a Fire with Dad animation with both of our cartoons. Like we could have you twerking and then me doing the MP fist bump. Do you know how to twerk? Okay, I want you to Google twerking when we get done. We're going to Google twerking. That's all we got. Fire with Dad.